So alright, so we got Trolla's End, we got Crovin's End. Let's start on Reginald's route. Let's see what's up with our favorite Yandere. Let's see. So starting from here, where do you want to meet? He wanted to meet at the cemetery, right? Yeah. To, I guess, give Mary the book. She mentioned the book she wanted to read and everything. Also, he wants to grab lunch. It's totally a date. So let's go to the cemetery. Let's see what's up with him. Mr. Long-haired Bishonen. It was a tough choice, but I had to choose one of them. The others had plans. When noon rolled around, I headed to my destination. Reginald was not outside the cemetery gates as I had expected, so I delved deeper into the cemetery. At first, I was worried he had already left, but eventually I was able to find him on one of the paths. He seemed to be looking for a few graves, as if he was looking for someone. I called out to him as not to startle him. He noticed me and waved me over, so I made my way over to him. Hello again, Reginald. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you too. I'm surprised you showed up. I thought you might be busy such last minute. Well, even if you weren't here, I'd probably be here anyways. Besides, I wanted to see you. I thought it'd be nice to talk again. Since last time we were both preoccupied with books. I'm glad to hear that. I was thinking the same thing. Oh, and speaking of books, before I forget, Reginald handed me the book from the other day. Don't worry about checking it out at the library. I told them I'd be giving it to you, so I had them extend the due date under your name. Is that how it works? Can you do that? I don't know. Oh, thank you, I think. I'm surprised they let you do that. Anyways, why are you here? Are you missing someone? I know it hasn't been too long since the funeral service, so... Oh, heavens no. Sorry if I made you think that. I'm just here for business. Business? Do you work at the cemetery? 'Cause I've never seen you around here before. Oh, no. I agreed to meet the caretaker here since they couldn't get off work. You see, I'm a coffin maker. And well, someone's in need of a coffin soon. Oh yeah, I always forget what his occupation was, but I think he mentioned that before actually. That he makes coffins and everything. I think he did. Oh, you're a coffin maker, and her eyes light up. That's so hot. No, yeah. You never told me that. That's a wow. That's a really neat, actually. Are you impressed by that? Well, I'm really into these things. I'm always here for a reason, after all. I'm sorry, I didn't mention it to you sooner. Then, if you really like coffins, I can show you a few I've designed. I have a portfolio back at home, but I'm sure I have a few pictures on my phone I can show you too. You just design? I don't know. I've never really researched coffins before. You design coffins? You make a portfolio? I didn't know you do that. Hmm. I mean, I guess you can. Oh yes, please do. I'd really love to see. Okay, very big smile. Reginald showed me a few pictures on his phone of some coffins he's made. They were also detailed and intricate. They seemed personalized to the person they belonged to. I would assume, just like a lot of things, I would assume the coffin industry would be, automated by factories and machines. But I guess, there's always artisans, I guess. I was taken aback. I could have stared at them all day if you let me. Wow, those are really beautiful. You really made those? I'd love to be buried in one of those one day. Hmm, was that weird? Oh, no, totally not. I'm totally gonna put your corpse in the coffin pretty soon after I kill you. I mean, oh no, you flatter me. I'm happy you like them so much. What's with that look? What look? I wasn't making a look. Hmm, sorry, I just had a sneaking suspicion. But no, I'm sure I'm wrong. Suspicion? About what? Oh, I was just thinking that you want me to design a coffin based off of you, too. Wait, are you serious? I mean, I know I don't need it right now, but you need it soon. I'd be so happy if you did. I mean, we hardly know each other, and that's so generous. Oh, it's nothing, really. I thought someone like you would appreciate that offer, and I can always use a new muse. It'd be my pleasure, especially if it will make you that happy. You just have to promise you won't go. dying on me anytime soon. Uh-huh. 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 Oh my gosh. Sorry, the idea of it is so flattering. Is it? Is it flattering? I don't know. Do you think I may make a good muse for one? Absolutely. When we met, I remember you telling me how much you love this place. Who could ever be better for inspiration for my work? I know you love the cemetery, so we can stay here a while if you want, but I will have to leave for my lunch break soon if you're still willing to join me. Oh, right. We can go whenever you like. Although I do kind of feel bad. Groven invited me to lunch today, too. Who's Groven? Oh, just the boy I live with. Would that make him incredibly jealous? I feel like. I'll have to rotate my saves. I mean, I guess I can always, it's weird because I can make saves on any page I want, but you can't see it, so it's kind of hard to get to. Anyway, I guess I'll just start saving over here. Just start saving over the Croven route. Oop. Okay. Uh, well, I don't know. Just the boy I live with. You live with him. Yeah, although he hasn't been the nicest to live with lately. He's been pretty snappy for a while, but I know he isn't meaning to be. I see. Well, I think you made the right decision to come here instead. You do? Absolutely. You shouldn't force yourself to be around someone who's making you feel so bad. Psychological manipulation by giving good advice disguised as, disguised with like underlying intentions. What do you call it? I keep forgetting what you call that. Underlying intentions. You know, why can't I think of that word? You know, when someone like does something, but actually you know, they have intentions that they don't show. What's that word? Why can't I think of that? I'm gonna look it up right now. In fact, I hope this always happens to me. Underlying motives. I remember struggling with this word before. I don't know why. Ulterior motive. That's the word I was thinking of. Ulterior motive. He has ulterior motives. Anyway, really, Mary, you have to take care of yourself, you know? So let's go somewhere where you don't even have to think about it. Don't worry about a boy like that. And if he ever really gets on your nerves, you can always give me a call. I will totally poison him. I mean, what? I won't mind. It's funny. Well, I imagine if you did his route first, you wouldn't know the fact that he poisons people, I guess. But, since I know, it really does give a new perspective on this character. I understand how frustrating some people can be sometimes, just like my landlady. Anyway, you mean that? Thanks, Reginald. That means a lot to me. Of course. Come now, let's get going. Oh, and on the way, maybe you can recommend one of those shoujo mangas to me. What are these shoujo mangoes? What are those? Shoujo mangoes? I've been meaning to find one to read. Okay. Reginald and I went to find somewhere to eat on his lunch break. Even though I hadn't known him for long, he was treating me as if we were always friends. It was a strange feeling, but I can't say it was one that was unwelcomed. He talked so casually, without pauses or hesitance in his voice. I don't know. You should pause sometimes to breathe. I couldn't understand why. It just felt so bizarre, and not even a bad way. Just maybe I'm still not used to making friends. Yeah, in every route, she just doesn't have any friends. Well, I mean, Croven's route technically. I mean, she had a hard time making friends, but eventually, by the end, I guess she got along with at least Zappara. I guess. Otherwise, though, in every single route, no one treats her nicely in the beginning. But anyway. But I was glad I had a chance now with someone who is totally not a yandere. Totally not. Before we could decide on anywhere to go, Reginald received a phone call. It was a client of his. He looked at me apologetically and told me he had to leave right away. I told him it was alright and we parted ways. After he left, I headed back to the cemetery. I didn't see anyone else there on the rest of the day. I never know if that's a good thing anymore. When I got home that night, I did my usual routine, and to finish it off, I plopped on my bed and took out my phone, just like usual. This conversation, the mystery number again. I'm gonna go a little quickly. Something when you said it, what's bothering you? Coming from a similar. I feel like the lines are slightly different in each route, but it's pretty much the same. I feel like. Let's skip this. Yeah, skip that. All right, so we go out again. We don't grab breakfast. I'm meeting with a friend. Let's say. He responded with a simple okay, and after that, I was out the door. Okay. I just want to go to that place, not be bothered, alright? So, go back all the way here again. Let's hear a different story this time, though, since we're on a different route. That's the first time we did Halloween. Mary Kumpo was the second time. How about the 13th birthday? How about that? Not to say I didn't enjoy my following birthdays or previous birthdays, but my 13th birthday was especially enjoyable. That was the day my parents got me a tarantula. Oh. I've been begging them for months, and they finally gave in and let me get one. I always loved tarantulas, despite the ways others often view them. I mean, technically tarantulas, I believe, they're like probably the most docile of all spiders, actually. A lot of spiders, are pretty docile for the most part, unless you, poke them, whatever. Some of the very, what's the word? Venomous, right? Venomous or poisonous? I always forget. I always mix them up. But, some spiders can definitely murder you, but, most of them can't. Anyway. Or maybe it was in spite of how people viewed them. But I always knew they were gentle if you were nice to them. The way you should be. I picked the biggest and fuzziest one they would allow me to get. I named her Shelly. And I collect seashells to put in her enclosure. I even put cute little bows on the outside of it. I always wanted to show Shelly to others, but of course, they didn't like her as much as I did. I don't know, it's probably the most, despite everyone not really like a lot of people don't like spiders, but tarantulas are actually definitely probably the most, agreeable one, I guess, of all the spiders, I imagine. If there's any spider you should probably show people, I guess it would be a tarantula, because, I don't know. It's bigger than most of the other most spiders in general, and I feel for me anyway, insects in general. I guess are spiders insects? I guess are they? People always say that spiders are not insects; they're arachnids. I don't know what's the difference. Anyway, I usually don't like insects when they're really small. That's usually that's why I don't like insects because they're so small. They zip around and you can't see them. They go so fast and creepy and crawl everywhere. Anyway, I really love Shelly, but she ended up getting sick. That's too bad. Really sick. Now the vets could even figure out what was wrong with her. Around sometime last year, she died. I was so miserable I didn't want to eat. But Mom knew my weakness. She began making all my favorite foods for me, and it was hard being hungry and miserable at the same time, even though it was just food to help me feel a lot better. Standing here is almost as if I could smell her still making it, and Dad would sit with me at the counter and make sure I got my fair share of dad puns for the day. I love being able to sit with them and eat and just joke around, but now it's all covered in dust, and no one's here. Where should I go? Okay. I don't know. So this is the same though, so I'll just skip this. That someone came in? Who came in? I don't know. Personally, well, my guess is probably Reginald. I think he's the one that came in. You look at the silhouette, it looks like long hair. Twilla doesn't really have super long hair, and Crovin obviously doesn't have long hair. I mean, there's always the mystery number, but I don't know who the mystery number is. I still don't know who the mystery number is. I think that's will never be revealed until we do all the routes, I feel like. Anyway. Let's call Reginald. He's close by. Maybe, literally, I don't know. I quickly called Reginald. He's close by, so he could get here the quickest. And maybe on his way over, he might see the intruder. Come on, please, pick up. Hello, Mary? Reginald? Reginald, you're in the cemetery right now, right? Yes? Why? Can you come over here? Over where? Next door, the diner. I'm here and I really need your help. Help? What's wrong? What happened? I'll explain it once you're here. Can you please just come over? Certainly. I'll be there momentarily. Thank you. It was only a few minutes before Reginald got here, but it felt like hours to me. Once he arrived, he commented on how shaken I looked and asked what happened. I told him everything. About how my parents were missing and how I wasn't supposed to be here. I asked if he had seen any hooded person on his way over. Excuse. I asked if he had seen any hooded person on his way over looking like they were in a rush. I don't know. They said it was on a hood. I feel like... I don't know, anyway. Because I saw, it seemed like the silhouette had, long hair, but maybe he's covered in a hood, so maybe not. I don't know. But he said he didn't see anything. He wasn't really sure what he could do to help, but he offered to look around me and could see if they left anything behind. I thought that sounded like a good idea at the time. It made the most sense in my head. We started in the dining area and slowly worked our way upstairs. I guess I was a little scared because the look Reginald gave me when he faced me again looked so worried that it worried me even more. He reassured me that I didn't have to worry, offered to hold my hand and help me calm down. Hand holding, lewd. I accepted. We looked around but couldn't find anything suspicious left behind. However, when we investigated my room, I noticed one of the plushes, or plushies. Was it I don't know. I feel like it's plushies, right? Not plushes? No, plushies. See that before, plushes. Doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right to me. Plushes. It was one of my favorites. I always kept it right on the shelf and next to my bed, so it couldn't have gotten so lost, or couldn't gotten lost so easily. Did they take it? That thought put my stomach in knots. To think they must have been here while I was dozing off in the other room. Oh God. I don't. I. Nyeh. Eventually, we gave up on looking. There was nothing else of note. It's not like we could really do anything else right now. We headed back downstairs. At the very least, having Reginald here was able to calm me down some. Mary, I'm very sorry I wasn't able to help you as much as you would have liked. What? No, don't say that. You helped me a lot. I'm very glad you came. Really, I feel a lot better. Really? You sure? Yes, thank you. Well, I'm glad I was able to help in at least one regard. I was wondering why this place has closed down so suddenly. I had no idea it was because its owners went missing. A shame, too. I know I had only been here when we first met, but I would have loved to come again. I'm sorry, that was a wrong choice of words. I didn't mean. No, I'm fine, it's fine. They'll open again once they come back. Well, for your safety then, can you please not come in here until they get back? Huh? I don't know who was in here earlier, but there is a possibility they might come back. They could be dangerous, right? And what if you got hurt? You have to look out for yourself, Mary. I'm sure you miss your parents dearly, but they wouldn't want you putting yourself in danger now, would they? Yeah, I suppose you're right. I never even thought of it that way. You're right. I'll lock this place up again. At least if that person does come back, at least they can't get in. That sounds like a good idea. Here, let's go. Why don't you walk around the cemetery with me? I'm sure it'll at least feel better than staying here. Yeah, you're right. I think I like that. Thank you. I let Reginald take me to the cemetery away from the diner. He told me to show him all my favorite spots. Occasionally, he asked about a decorated grave. Asked if I knew who the person there was. I wish I was able to have more answers for him. The rest of my day was pretty hazy. I couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. I didn't really feel any sort of relief until I got into bed that night. But that's never really even part of my day anyways. Mom? Jump scare? That we just skip? And then this part again? We just skip as well because we already see this scene. Weep. Okay, and then Reginald. So after, crashing a funeral, silently, we meet up Reginald. What are you doing here? Oh, I just happened to be walking by when I noticed you in there. Is everything alright? Oh, yes. Everything's fine. She wasn't like a family member or anything like that. Oh, that's a relief. It's always a sad thing, is it not? Yes, it is. It's okay. I know you don't see it that way. Huh? Well, since you're here, would you mind helping me with something? Oh? I was just about to head down to the store to pick up a few things. Just some screws, nails, a hammer or two. Just some stuff I'm running low on or need to replace. You want my help for this? I'm not very educated in tools and all. Oh, no, that's alright. You don't need to be. I just appreciate the company is all. But if you'd rather not. Oh, no. I mean, yeah, I can come. It's not like I have anything better to do. Haha. Lovely. Come with me. I hope you don't mind that we'll have to walk. I would have brought my car, but it was too nice of a day to pass up the chance to walk. In the rain? Rightly so. A little water never hurt anyone. Okay. Well, I guess you got a point. A nice day. It's just pouring rain. And also he mentioned like I know you don't go to the funerals for that or something. I don't know. He says so anyway. Reginald's logic didn't really make sense to me, but I decided to accompany him to the hardware store anyways. Even though he's probably a crazy person, don't worry about it. It's not like I ever go there, so it'll be a nice change of pace. Come to think of it, I didn't actually know where the hardware store was located until Reginald showed me. I guess it's good that I know now. If someone asks me where the hardware store is, I'll know how to answer. Yeah. The hardware store wasn't too far away from where we were, but I felt like quite the walk since I didn't know how to get there. Come to think of it, I can't remember the last time I've ever actually been in a hardware store. As Reginald held the door open for me, the smell of fertilizer wafted. I always never how to say that word. Wafted forward. Wafted. Quite intense. The smell of poop. We entered into what looked like the gardening section. Well, I don't know. Fertilizer doesn't have to be poop. I'm just thinking of manure, I guess. Screwy says, eat more screws. Are you supposed to eat screws? I don't know if you're supposed to eat screws. Well, here we are. Thank you again for coming along. I do appreciate it. Yeah, of course. Thank you for inviting me. It's nice to go somewhere different. Oh, what is it that you need to get again? Oh, I've got a list in my pocket, actually. Hey, would you like to turn it into a game? Would you like to play a game? How do you mean? I'll split the list in half. We'll each take a half and look for the items on our own. Then we'll come back here when we're finished. If you can get here before me, I'll reward you. Reward me? Reward me? I'll get a prize? Something like that. But you have to beat me first. Something like that. What do you mean? Okay, I think I can do that, maybe. Let's do it then. I watched as Reginald ripped his list in two and handed one half over to me. Fair warning, though. I know this drawer like the back of my hand. Hey, I might still win. Okay, what a weird game, but sure. After that, Reginald went on his own and left me with my share of the list. Let's see here. Antifreeze, an axe, in bold. Tape measure, rat poison. Well, that's not very nice. I'll mention that to him later. Rat poison. For now, I had to get things on the list. We know, sort of, why he's getting these items, like last time, in a different route anyway. Anyway, after all, I now had a challenge to win. But I didn't anticipate how big this store was. It already looked big from the outside, but now that I was walking in, it was huge. It was a weird feeling walking in here by myself. Why is there like spooky music in this big store? That kind of reminds me of the SCP. The IKEA SCP, you know, the infinite IKEA. Where someone gets lost and then they just can never get out. It's like a dimension of its own. And there's just scary monsters inside. Anyway, especially considering I don't really come to these places. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was so empty. I didn't even see any workers around. Despite that, I kept hearing footsteps. Why is this what? Spooky hardware store scene, I guess. Reginald? I called out. No response. What am I doing? This place isn't scary. I'm just gonna get the things he asked me for. I was on that list. Wait, hey, where'd that list go? Did I drop it somewhere? Oh, shoot. That's okay. I'm pretty sure I remember what was on it. I'll just get those things and find my way back to the front. I just have to get, click on all that apply. Alright. Little mini game. Sure. Why not just get everything, you know? I think he said, obviously, antifreeze. Get a gallon antifreeze. Get the blue one? Maybe he wants the green one. Maybe ask him later. And then... rat poison. Okay. I think he wanted an axe as well. Picked up an axe. Is this the right kind? I mean, he's using it for wood, right? So this should be good. Wood, eh? What else would you use an axe for? It's heavy. And I believe measuring tape, I think, right? I grabbed a roll of measuring tape. I always used to play with these as a kid, and I tried to see how long I could stretch it. You know, I could also cheat, by the way. But I could cheat, look at this. Let's see, I mean, I think I got it, right? Antifreeze, axe, tape measure, and rat poison, yep. I could totally just cheat. The power of, you know, knowing how visual novels work. There's like a history function. Anyway, finish shopping, I guess. I pick up what I thought he'd need and decide to just head back towards the counter. After all, if I took too long, I would lose the race. At least I knew my way back. At the very least, I got back to the meeting spot before Reginald did. I only had to wait for about a minute before he showed up. I wonder what happens if you just get everything. I mean, he probably says, you know, oh, Mary, you got like a bunch of junk. You should put it all back. Okay, you lose. I see you made it back before me. Well done. Well, do you have everything? Yes, here you are. Ah, you did get it all. And just the brands I like too. You haven't been spying on me, have you? Because I've been spying on you. I mean, what? Yeah. And after making sure Reginald had everything he needed, he and I headed up to the front counter to pay for it all. One by one, he put all his stuff into the conveyor belt and slowly began to move across as the cashier began to scan it. You got quite a bit of stuff, Reginald. I feel bad. Oh, why is that? Well, you don't have a car with you, and now you gotta carry these bags back home. Would you want me to help you? Oh, don't worry about your silly little head about that. A little fresh air and exercise does me some good. You're not even gonna take the bus? No, I'm quite alright. Reginald, can I ask you something? Yes, of course. Is everything alright? Bought an axe? Well, I mean, we're curious about the I mean, it seems like we're supposed to. Mary's curious about the rat poison, so. Okay, fine, I'll click the rat poison. Yes, it's unfortunate, but my apartment has been having a bit of a rodent problem lately. And of course, the landlord won't take care of it, so somebody has to do something. Does that upset you? Well, I don't know. I wish you'd use a more humane way to get rid of them. Right, I see. In that case, I won't buy it anymore. Well, after this time, I suppose. Really? Thanks, it makes me feel better. Hey, do you want anything? Huh? They've got a shelf over there with some candy. I don't mind buying you a chocolate bar if you want one. Weird dynamic. Buying candy for a little girl, anyway. Oh, no, that's alright. You don't have to. Again, I don't know how old these people are, though. Maybe, I like to think they're close in age. Are you sure? I mean, is that supposed to be my prize for winning the race? No, no. I'm still thinking about what your prize should be. But since we're here anyways, might as well, right? Consider that I thank you for spending time with me today. Are you really sure? Of course I am. It's just a candy bar, it's not a big deal. In that case, thank you. Reginald brought me a chocolate bar, and I ravenously just chomped down on it, wrapper and all, nom nom nom. It made me very happy. I made sure to thank him for it, even though he insisted it was his thanks to me. After we left the store, Reginald had to head home, saying he ought to drop his tools and stuff. He said he felt bad not being able to invite me to do more. I told him it was completely okay, and he didn't need to do anything. Had a nice time today. Time must really fly, and because when I checked the time afterwards, we were already well into the afternoon. I ended up heading home a little early that day. I didn't have much else to do outside, so went home. Read some books, made some dinner, put some leftovers in the fridge, washed up, pajamas. Yeah, you gotta explain what I did after that. You know, I keep complaining about this, but basically, that's a lot of fluff. Like, why do we need to read that, I went home, went around, did nothing, I made some dinner, put some leftovers in my fridge, it's like, that's not really necessary to put in the story, is all I'm saying. I keep complaining, I gotta stop, but, you know? That's probably my main criticism of this game. There's just too much fluff. Why is there so much fluff? Too much of like silence, black screen, and then we just mundane things happening. Especially like in a mystery game. I mean, this is tagged mystery, right? So if you are gonna talk about something mundane, it has to be relevant to the mystery. I feel like to like put some like clues in there. Otherwise, though, if it's just basically her just like then I took a shower and then I ate some food, and then I went to bed. That's not really necessary. You don't need to put that in the story anyway. I'm just complaining. Who's texting me so late? It's Mary, or rather, it's Reginald. Mary, are you awake? I understand if you aren't, of course. It's a bit late, isn't it? But whenever you read this, do respond. Reginald, why are you up so late? Oh, hello. Don't worry about that. I just have the perfect prize for you, and I had to tell you as soon as I possibly could. Really? What is it? You loved seeing my work the other day, right? Unless you were just flattering me. Anyways, I was thinking you could come by to my workshop, and I could show you how a coffin is made. At least the way I do it. I thought it'd be a nice idea if you're into it. You're serious? I'm allowed to come see? Of course you are. I wouldn't have invited you otherwise. Then yeah, I'd love to see. I think that'd be really cool. Thank you so much. Of course, I'm often alone, so it'll be nice to have some company. Here, I'll send you the directions momentarily. You see, the way I make a coffin is to like create a corpse first. You'll be the corpse, Mary. Blam. Reginald gave me the directions to his workshop, and we made plans to meet there in a few days. I always wondered what went into making a coffin, so I was plenty excited to see it for myself. There's only so much you can read online about stuff like this. Being able to experience it firsthand would be something entirely different. You should probably record it. Make a YouTube video out of it. That would probably be interesting. Is there like a YouTube channel about that? There probably is. I mean, there's a YouTube channel for everything, I guess. But probably there's a YouTube channel for coffin making. I imagine it'll be quite a unique skill. You get plenty of views. Honestly, it was a bit hard to contain how giddy I was. I felt like a kid again, excited for a field trip the next day. Well, back when I still went to school with the other kids I know. Oh, she did? I thought she was, because you mentioned Mary was homeschooled, right? I guess she wasn't homeschooled from the very beginning? I guess she did go to the school with the other kids, and then she got homeschooled for some reason? I don't know. Anyways, I was excited. And after the feeling I've been waiting forever, or rather, after feeling like I've been waiting forever, they finally arrived. Getting off the bus at the closest stop, I walked to the location Reginald told me I should go. He told me it was a bit of ways off the sidewalk and not too close to many buildings. It honestly felt like I walked into a whole new city. It definitely wasn't as brick and mortar as back when where I'm used to being. There were so many trees and buildings were spread. The grass grew in such a way that it didn't feel overgrown despite reaching a bit over your ankles. I walked down the town's cracked sidewalk until I came across a pebble path. And following it down, I caught sight of Reginald's workshop. It was so old-fashioned. It was big but completely made of wood. It almost looked like its own little cottage way out here. But it was charming and I liked it. I went up to the door and gave it a few gentle knocks. I didn't hear anything at first, but then... Surprise! Oh, he's actually he looks pretty grumpy. Reginald opened the door. At first he had a not-so-happy expression on his face. But it was only for a split second, but I noticed before it changed. Aha! Ah, Mary, you're here. Come in, come in. Okay, it's funny he's grumpy. Well, he probably puts a facade when he's meeting Mary and everything. Otherwise, maybe his true self is a bit, probably a little bit more like Twilla, I don't know. So glad you could make it. I took a step into the workshop. It was so cozy in here. There was such a gentle sunlight flowing through the windows, and the smell of sawdust was prominent in the air. It was a good kind of sawdust smell. It smelled like productivity and hard work. I actually just started my break, but feel free to look around and ask about things in the meantime. Are you sure? I don't want to bother you on your break. Oh, nonsense. I can't think of a better way to spend my free time. So anything you're curious about? Okay, a lot of questions. A lot of questions we can ask. Questions. This is a lot more woodsy than I expected. Oh, you think so? Yes, I do prefer to keep things a little more natural out here. Takes a bit longer, but it's more than worth it in the end. Better for the environment as well. Is your work clothes? Oh, yes. Do you like them? Oh, yes. They look very nice. But, your hair is still a bit loose, don't you think? Yes, you're not the first to say that. I don't know. I always see in anime, in particular, when you like tie up your hair, you always keep the bangs for some reason. It looks good, I guess. But it's hard to control it all, and I can't bear to cut it. No worries though. I assure you haven't had an accident since. And if I do, then you could just tell me you told me so. Okay. Are those new tools working for you? Extravagantly so. I think that's because I had you helping me that day. Are you secretly a good luck charm? I think I feel more like the opposite if I'm honest. Oh, come now, don't say that. You haven't let me down yet. Are you always alone here? Oh, not always. Okay, just about always. But it's alright. I don't mind it. I get to meet up with some others when they need bases and all. So I'm not always alone. So don't worry about it. Besides, are any of us really alone? He winked at me after saying it. What do you mean by that? I don't know what you mean by that. Is that your work in the back? Right here? Indeed it is. It's just a base right now, though. Nothing too special about it yet. I think it looks pretty good though. Especially since it's not like I know how to do any of this stuff. Well, if you like, you could take a step inside. You could be my little tester. Wow, really? Sure, I mean, haven't you always wanted to know what it was that like to actually lie in one? I know I have. Yeah, I'd like to try it if it's okay. Of course it is. And then I'll, shut you in and then bury you on the ground. I wouldn't have offered otherwise. I step into the coffin. Even though it's still standing upwards, I cross my arms as I've been lying down in it. Okay, you're a vampire now. Reginald gave me a teensy wave as he lifted the lid and placed it over the coffin, encompassing me in darkness inside. How's it feel in there? It's cozy, I think. I'm sure it'll be a lot cozier once it's finished. Maybe we'll add some nice cushions and a shiny finish to really put it over the top. I imagine his voice is muffled or something. Hey, yeah, I always wonder what it feels like in those. I guess you'll have to let me try it again, and when it's finished? Hello? Reginald? Okay, did he lock us in? He shut us in. You're still there, right? Hello? I guess I'll just let myself out then. Uh, huh? I pushed on the lid in front of me, but it didn't budge at all. I pushed harder, but to no avail. Reginald? Can you hear me? I'd like to get out now. Okay. Is he pranking us? Why is everywhere we get pranked? Hey, how much air is in here anyways? I tried pushing again, and this is how we die. No use. And no matter how much I yelled out to him, it seemed as if Reginald had just vanished. Hey! Oh, that was a loud sound effect. Let me out, please! I punched the lid in an attempt to get out. I felt pain surge from my wrist as I did so, but still I did it again, and again, and again. Help me! Please! Let me out! Those are some bassy sounding punches. Bass boosted punches. Anyway, let me out! Please! I can't get out! Please! Finally, I was let out. I struggled to catch my breath as I was met with the face of Reginald, who looked quite shocked to see me in such a state. Mary? What happened? Are you alright? Where were you? Didn't you hear me screaming in there? No, someone had knocked on the door. I figured you'd be able to get on your own, so You look shaken. Just a little bit. I just got so nervous when I couldn't get out. I'm sorry. No, 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 I'm the sorry one. Really, I'm so sorry. Today was supposed to be nice, but I should have left you alone. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you, okay? You really don't have to, it's alright. I feel bad. It wasn't your fault. It is my fault. Besides, I won't feel good about it unless I do something to make it up to you, okay? It's just how I am. Hmm. Now I wonder, well, I don't know. Now I'm questioning, was that really someone at the door, He was just disappeared for a second? Or did he just do that intentionally? I don't know. No idea. I stayed for about less than an hour after that. It became pretty awkward after my little panic. Reginald still looked like he felt really bad. I told him I'd let him work in peace. He told me it was okay if I wanted to leave, but he'd like to see me again soon. We said our goodbyes and I left, not wanting him to feel any worse over it. I didn't do much the rest of the day. I had, well, planned around this, but now I didn't feel up for doing much at all. I went back home and decided just to relax. You should have thought, I feel like every time, not every time, but like Mary, you should have thought about, what would happen if you be inside a coffin. You're so excited about being in a coffin. You shouldn't be inside if you're claustrophobic. It's like same thing with Crovin's route when she went to a nightclub. She's like, "Oh, a nightclub, that sounds great," and then she actually goes in a nightclub and actually, "Oh, nightclub, this is horrible." You should have thought about that, Mary. Anyway, I was sure that once I was fully calm, what happened today wouldn't have seemed that bad at all. So I spent the rest of my evening at home until it was time for bed once again. Okay, this is probably something different, like slightly different. Okay, are you trapped, I guess? Is it because you want to, or do you have no choice? There's always a choice. Good night, Mary. Alright. Went to bed, everything. I feel like the mystery number stuff is very vague and very repetitive, so I just kind of just don't read it. I didn't really need something to shake things up anymore. The first 2 days had passed. I did my usual hobbies. Went to the cemetery, placed flowers. I planted flowers, and I didn't really talk to anyone, but that was fine too. And the third day it was raining, so I decided I would stay home. I decided to finally take out the manga I got from the library. And started again. The day seemed like the perfect day too. Ah yes, manga. I lit the fireplace as I cuddled up the blanket next to it, expecting to spend quite a while sitting there. It was a thick book, but I was sure I could finish it all in a sitting. It depends on how fast you look at the pictures, I guess, you know? As for its content, well, it wasn't the best manga I'd ever read. Well, it was still really interesting and captivated me nonetheless. The story was mostly lighthearted, and at some points even felt like a comedy. But I just got to a part that was a bit more serious, making me all the more invested. Ah yes, manga. It doesn't really look like... I mean, this looks more like a sketch of what a manga looks like, I guess. Doesn't really look like a manga, though. Why is there leaves? You know, why are there leaves? I mean, I guess you can do that. I guess you don't have to, like, stay within the boundaries of the lines. You know, sometimes, for example, sound effects sometimes pop out of the panels. Anyway, I'm just wondering, you normally, you know, you don't have, like, leaves, like, just fly everywhere on the book. Anyway. The main boy was hopelessly in love with the main girl. Also, it looks weird. I don't know. Usually, it isn't this black and white. It's a little like there's toning, you know, and everything. So usually, there's a lot of gray tones everywhere. It's not like literally black and white, even though that's what people think of when they look at manga. Anyway, that was obvious from the start. Despite this, he didn't want to be her boyfriend. In fact, he didn't want to be in a relationship with her at all. The manga had been pretty comedic up until this point. It was mostly about the boy taking wild steps to keep the girl his friend, while also not wanting it to evolve into more, or even insinuate he had feelings for her. He never explains why he doesn't want to date her, just that he doesn't. Is the manga called Friend Zone? You know, the Friend Zone. But now it appears the girl had grown feelings for him in return, making things all the more complicated. It looks like the boy was ready to confess why he felt the way he did. I was completely immersed as I turned the page, only to be met with, "To be continued." No, actually, someone messed up the manga? Wow. Vandalized my manga. Oh, how terrible. Someone had vandalized the page with some sort of black paint or nail polish, it seemed. I turned to the next page just to make sure the rest of the book was alright. Sure enough, the other pages were also scribbled in black. Except for one. Okay, just the Necronomicon. We accidentally, this manga was actually the book of the dead, and now we've, you know, opened our mind to the mysteries of the universe, and now we can take over the world, right? Or something? I don't know. There was a drawing on it, and what looked like some kind of writing underneath. It made me feel disappointed. I know it's not all that uncommon for edgy teenagers to write in books and all, but still, this belonged to the library. You shouldn't damage it. Especially manga. Don't damage my manga. I try to look on the bright side and think that maybe it was a donation to the library instead. Someone had drawn this book when they owned it and donated it without realizing. Still though, did no one check to see if the book was in good enough shape to be donated? Well, there was nothing to do about it now. I made a mental note to tell the library of the damaged book when I went next. I flipped back through the beginning pages to make sure I didn't miss any marks. But when I did... okay, spooky! Hee. The page I was just... oh, it looked nothing like it did before. All the characters, it was like it was looking straight at me. I turned the page and it was the same. All eyes were on me. That looks kind of weird. Like, how does the neck turn like that? Completely startled, I had thrown the book away from me. But I didn't see where I was throwing. What? In the fire? In my panic, I had thrown the book right into the fire. Well, you're gonna pay for that. Oh no. Oh no. I wanted to save it, but it was too late. Putting the fire out wouldn't have saved it. It was already pitch black and burning to ash. I smacked myself in the head. I was always so careful with the library books, and now I won't get completely destroyed. Stupid. Even though the book was beyond rescue, I still had to clean the fireplace now. I sighed and gathered the proper tools to clean it. Kneeling in front of the fireplace, I heard my phone go off. I picked it up shortly after, worried that it might have been Corbin needing something important. But it was Reginald once again. "Hello, Mary. How are you feeling today?" "Me? I'm okay, I guess. Accidentally, had like a cursed book, and then I threw it into the fire. Hopefully, that's not like, doesn't mean anything, but are you sure?" "I still feel terrible what had happened the other day." "What do you mean?" "When you got stuck, remember? Or, well, perhaps it's better if you don't remember, huh? Well, anyways, I've still been feeling pretty awful about it. I was thinking of ways I can make it up to you somehow, and luckily an opportunity had recently presented itself." Oh, you don't have to do anything. Really, it's alright. Please, I think you'll really like it. Hmm. Save here? It really isn't necessary. No, no. I insist. You see. Oh, drop something? What's that? I think I dropped something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I dropped. Anyway, I never mind that. Uh, I was recently invited to a funeral, and who better to invite me with me than you? Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you feeling alright? Oh, yes, yes. No need to worry. It was no one close, just someone I used to know a long, long time ago. I hadn't seen him in ages, so it surprised even me that I was invited. But since I was, I thought you would like to come. You do like these events, right? Wait a minute. So wait. So like, I was recently invited to a funeral, and then he's inviting Mary. And remember, what was that what was that psychopath test again? Which is not really a psychopath test. It's just like a thing someone made up. But it was, yeah, because I said before, it was like I think it was the whole story because I tried to tell the story before, but I didn't get it right. But basically, the question was like, yeah, now I remember. So it's like a woman, you know, met the man of her dreams at a funeral one day. He's like her one true love, right? And then apparently, a few days after, her sister's dead. Why? Why is this? Why did that happen? And obviously, a typical answer would be like, oh, because maybe the sister was trying to flirt with the man, that the woman had a crush on, or maybe it was a coincidence, or maybe like I don't know, stuff like that. But actually, the answer, if you were a psychopath, or at least the saying goes, the answer would be like the reason why her sister's dead a few days after is because the woman killed her sister just so she can have the funeral to meet up with the man again, and that's the full like I don't know what you even call it. It's like a full thought experiment, I guess. I don't know. Again, it's not. It's definitely just something made up or someone made up. It's not really a real psychopath test. Like it's not like a psychologist made it or whatever. Just something that someone thought up, I guess. It's just funny to think about. Like why? How would you meet someone? Obviously, you kill someone so you can meet them at the funeral again, right? Anyway, you do like these events, right? So that's what it reminds me. I wonder, Reginald, did you kill someone again just to meet up with Mary? I don't know. Anyway, well, I guess I can't deny that I do love going to funerals. But are you really sure it's okay for me to come? Of course. I think if anyone can put the fun in funeral, it's you. What put the fun in funeral? You can't spell funeral without fun. Oh, shucks. Reginald forwarded me the details of the funeral and told me where I'd be meeting him. Despite our area's pretty cemetery, this funeral was going to be entirely in a church. I had never been to a funeral in a church before. Each one I've attended has been outside. Well, I don't know. Sometimes you go inside and you go outside, I guess depending. And it's a lot easier to walk into one that's held outdoors. But now I was invited, and I could not deny I did feel a little excited. Is that bad? I've never really gone to churches, but they've always seemed so pretty from the outside. I just never had a reason to go. I feel the opposite. I think I mentioned this before, but Christianity always scared me as a kid. I don't know. They always is like very scary. There's like demons and like the one time where a lot of people die. A lot of people die in the I guess in the stories involving Christianity and everything. It's very hardcore. It's like it's horrifying. Anyway, but now I do. Kept in touch with Reginald till that day, always double checking the details such as the time and location. I didn't want to be late or hold anything up or cause any disruption. Reginald kept assuring me that I'd be alright though, and he'd wait for me outside so I wouldn't get too lost either. On the day of the funeral, I wore my usual attire. It's one of the great things about dressing like this. I'm always funeral ready. I mean, that's not the only reason I dress like this. I just like the color black a lot. Amazing. I think red is still my favorite color. Oh, that is your hair, Cemetery Mary. Your hair is red, so that's why it's a favorite color, maybe. Probably. When I turned down the street the church was on, I spotted Reginald standing on the front steps. He spotted me in return and gave a polite wave as he waited for me to reach him. Why don't you look nice? Oh, really? I'm just wearing what I always do. Yes, I know, but it's a nice look for you. Ah, right, right. Here, take this. Reginald handed me a small package of tissues. I know you're not the one to cry at these events, but just in case. Oh, thank you. That's very considerate of you. Do you think you'll need them too? Oh, no, no. I'm not much of a cry, I'm afraid. Besides, I think it's hard to be sad with you around. Oh, what? My god. What a line. Reginald opened the door for me and I stepped inside. I'd always admired this building from the outside, but had never been inside before. The ceilings towered above us. The walls were clean and dark, and the tile floors below us gave a pleasant sound when stepped on. He gestured the direction to be heading in for the service. There was a lot of people. That made me happy. We all hurried into the room, everyone looking for a proper pew to sit in with a nice enough view of the priest. Yorokobe shonin. I sat down in the closest open spot to me. And almost immediately, I felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Dread? What's up, Dream Intern? Hello, Dream Intern. I'm just playing Cemetery Mary, a visual novel about a girl named Mary who loves to visit cemeteries, I guess. I've done a few routes already, though, and this is the third route. It's Reginald's route. Well, let's see. Right now, we're in a funeral, I guess? For some reason, I don't know. Why are we feeling a sense of dread? I'm not sure what caused it, or why it was happening, but it was as if the world was ending. Somehow. I don't know. I just couldn't place this overwhelming sense of doom that I was feeling. I looked around. It seemed like no one else was experiencing it. Are we a demon, by the way? That was never... I don't know. So someone was joking about how Mary would look like a demon. There's like demon horns and everything, but is she actually a demon? And that's why the church's holy light is like affecting her or something? That was never mentioned. Maybe she is? Demon spawn. I don't know. But it was so prominent to me. Almost tangible. Like a heavy weight that was sinking to your shoulders. I mean, it seems like a lot of people in this world, in this universe of this visual novel, have like animal ears. That's never mentioned, but that's, I guess, just completely normal. But like, what about, supernatural creatures? Do those exist? No one's mentioned that. Or, anyway, or loud music that reverberated through your bones. The ceilings were so high, I had plenty of room to sit, and yet I felt so terribly claustrophobic. I could not even hear what the priest was saying. Rather, I could hear it, but I felt as if I could not listen properly. The priest is saying, Yorokobe shonin, kimi no nagai wa youyaku kanao. No, as if they were speaking underwater. What was this feeling? It was making me feel sick. I felt the temples of my head start to throb the more time went on. With each muffled noise that coursed its way across the room somehow gave me a sense of nausea, as if just the vibrations of sound were causing me to feel dizzy. Something wasn't right. That's all I could think of to myself. I felt almost paralyzed in my seat as the bad feelings continued, so on and so forth. It was hard to describe exactly how I felt. Was this a stroke? A heart attack? I couldn't pinpoint this feeling. I just knew that something wasn't right. I wasn't even sure how to handle these feelings. It was as if I had entered some kind of dreamlike state. As if what I was feeling and everything around me was all some sort of elaborate dream. It was scary and claustrophobic. I felt like I had tunnel vision, and the world around me was becoming blurred. Yeah, that's happened to me before, actually. You know how I don't know if anyone, not everyone has experienced this, but definitely maybe twice in my life, I felt like, almost fainting. That is a really weird feeling. No one, it's always mentioned in movies and media how when you feel like you're going unconscious, like the world is very far away and everything is muffled and everything. You always hear that effect in movies, and I never really thought that was a real thing until it happened to me in real life. And actually, that is true. When you are feeling you're about to faint and everything, the world does really feel like it's far away. Like everything's so muffled and you're not really paying attention to what's in front of you. It's actually true, which is, I don't know, something that's just interesting to me because I never thought it was, until actually it happened. I don't know, anyway. All the noises around me felt so muffled and yet also so loud. It made my ears ring. And all the while, the only message my brain was feeding me was that something wasn't right. I didn't want to be disrespectful to the servers or anything, but I had to leave. At least just leave the room. How long had this gone on anyways? I felt like it had been hours, but that could have been the case. I think I was just feeling really sick, and that's why. I I eventually worked up the strength to exit the room. Things didn't seem quite so close in when I did, but I still felt tidal waves of nausea rush over me every few moments. I couldn't understand what was causing this to happen. I felt terrified. In my dizzy state, I stumbled about until I found a bathroom. I went inside. The lights were bright and fluorescent in contrast to the rest of the church. The buzzing noise and stark whiteness of the room did not help my condition at all, as if overloading my senses even more. Luckily, I was already in front of a toilet, but my sickness got the better of me. Just vomit. I threw up. And something definitely was not right. Okay, we barf up, we puke black substance, black ooze. Whatever I puked in the toilet was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. It was pure black. Weird. And it glistened oddly in the light. Wait, what did you eat? You know, Mary? Like ink or tar. Did this really come out of me just now? Or am I just seeing things? This feeling of nausea still hasn't left. A knock on the door. I wasn't given much time to inspect it further, but truthfully, I didn't know if I wanted to. No, someone has to clean that up, Mary. I had just to be seeing things, right? I told whoever was outside that it would just be a minute. I flushed the toilet wipe to see what toilet paper. Oh, no, she did clean it, I guess. All that murky, inky black water came up clear again after I had flushed it. I washed my hands and cleaned myself in the sink before heading back out there again. As I exited the bathroom, I was greeted by the lady and gentleman standing right in front of me. Oh, goodness, you startled me. I'm so sorry, and I apologize for the wait. Please go ahead. Oh, that's quite alright. I just want to fix my makeup before we head out for dinner. Will you be joining us too? Huh? We saw you in the service there with us. Everyone was invited to come join us for dinner after. Sorry we were appearing rude, but who are you anyways? You're not some kind of crasher, right? Huh? What do you mean? How are you related to the deceased? Who did you come here with? Oh, that's just because I'm actually just... I mean, Reginald's girlfriend? I mean... You could just say you're a friend, you know? It's like, you could just tell the truth, Mary. You don't have to... I don't know, just tell the truth. I'm a third cousin twice removed. I'm Reginald's girlfriend. I mean... Sure. I didn't cause any trouble, leaving the service in the middle of it. I just wasn't feeling all that great, so I took off on my own. I don't know where he is right now, but I'll see him again soon, I'm sure. Oh, I see. He must be very wound up about this out and all then. Sorry to bother you. Oh, no, don't be sorry. It's okay. I noticed them give me a weird look as we went our separate ways. As I got closer to the main hall, I could see more and more people spilling out the ends. It seems like the service was just about over, but I couldn't just leave. There was something really weird going on here, and I knew. It was connected to that coffin. The closer I got to it, the more intense that nauseating pressure felt. It felt like walls, closing in on my brain. And with what happened in the bathroom earlier, I couldn't just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I snuck up closer to the coffin. We were alone together, and the pressure felt more intense than ever. Honestly, I felt like I could puke again from just standing here. Why are you getting closer to that? I don't know, I guess she's curious. She's too curious. She has to know. It just felt so hard to focus on anything except the pressure of it all. Something was telling me what's inside. I don't know if it's a body. I could hardly think properly. All my brain could tell me was that something else was in there. No one else is around, right? Maybe, if I could just see inside, all I need is one quick glance, and then maybe my mind will be at ease. I reached my arm towards the coffin, and... Ah, there you are. Reggie jump scare. Reginald, did you get lost? I noticed you ran off earlier. Is everything alright? Oh, I am. Actually, I'm not alright. Oh? What's wrong? I don't know. I just started feeling really sick today. I'm all woozy and dizzy, and my head feels like it's throbbing. I don't know why. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Would you like me to drive you home? Oh, that. No, no, it's okay. Are you sure? How are you going to get home then? No, no, it's fine. I'll be fine. Absolutely, because you don't sound at all that okay. I think I just need to lie down somewhere. Hmm, okay. Uh, Tell me to the bus stop. I don't know. The bus stop? Are you sure? Yeah. Once I'm on the bus, I'll be. Marry you. You really don't seem alright. Would you like to come to my place instead? Is that alright? Absolutely. I worry about you finding your way home like this. If if you're sure.